Now that we've got them in the correct datasets, we're going to go on and create an application homepage for them. So this is their landing page which will direct them to the correct profile. If you look at our Granta MI system, you can see that we have admin and toolbox, we have the scripting toolkit and gateway, but we also have our web-based tools like remote import, explore, and viewer. All of these guys live in what's called IIS, which is a Microsoft-based web server system. So you can use an application homepage as a landing page for all these different tools if you'd like. So let me show you what I've set up already. Just gonna go here and I've created it already. You can see here I've made several home pages for this demo. And this is the one that we've created for the application homepage. If I open this up, I can open it up in Notepad so you can actually see the HTML behind it. I promise not to spend too much time just typing in HTML. I can also double click it and you can actually see how it's set out. I am very sorry it's so ugly, but I'm not a web designer. Anything that I make like this always looks terrible. So we can see here, if we go back to the folder where I've put my application homepage to show you guys, we have a folder with all of the images and a cascading style sheet. So you can use JavaScript, images, anything that you would regularly be able to use in a homepage. If we open it up and look at the HTML, it looks like regular HTML. You can see here we have a link to explore, we have a link to remote import, so like I said, you can treat it as a landing page for any of your web-based tools. If we go back to the presentation, you can see here, there's the home page that I showed you guys that we have set up. This is a link to explore, this is to remote import. But we also have links to all those data modules and all of those profiles. So you're welcome to guess at what the GUIDs are. It'll take you a very long time to figure them out. Or I can show you where to find out. You can see here in Viewer, we have a little tool under the admin button called Object Identities. And this page gives you all of those codes. So let's just go through and find those codes for those profiles that I just made up because I couldn't pre-do them for the demo. So if we go into Viewer now, this is back to Viewer, still in the Polymers profile. I'm going to go into click Admin. You can see here we have Object Identities. All profile keys is the first option. And here are the first two that I made, design data and polymers. So I can just copy that design data one, copied it, going over to my HTML, we have explore, remote import, here's the design data one. We just have to use the special code index.asbx ? Profile key. I'll show you where to find out all those secret codes in a few minutes. So there's our design data. And let's go back, and here's our polymers. So we can fill this guy in. So we have our polymers and our design data. I already have the other profile that I've made. But you'll notice here we have profile key for the profiles and database key for the database. So our composites one, because it's a database, not a profile, we need to use the term database key. Let's go back to Viewer. And you can see here we have the key is called MI Composites. There we go. Copy that and put it into our HTML. So we can just save this guy, and now we have our application homepage ready to go into the system. So here's an opportunity to find out a bit about what's going on your server. You can imagine we have our SQL server here, and we have our second server, which is what hosts MI server as well as MI viewer. And this is a fairly typical installation. In the server, you might be familiar with going into Granta MI server. This is where a lot of the log files are kept. We used to have to go in there a lot more often than we do these days. But we also have this viewer section that has viewer, remote import, service layer, explorer. Those are saved on a separate location on your C drive in netpub/www root. If you look at mine, and we will in a few moments, you'll see that I have a folder in there for Explorer. I have a folder in there for remote import. I have a folder for service layer. I have a folder for MI, which is referring to MI viewer in particular. So in that MI folder, I'm going to add that application homepage that I created, as well as all of those supporting files system homepage. Now, that system homepage folder can actually be kind of handy anyway because it's protected when you do an upgrade. So you can put things in there that need to be protected, or if you have a particular image or something like that that you don't want to be deleted, it's worth it to keep that location in mind. So let's go to my system homepage. Let's create a new folder. And I'm going to go C. There we go. In netpub, www root. And like I promised, we have Explorer, Service Layer, Remote Import, and MI. And I can just copy both of these guys straight into the system. Have to have permissions because it's on the C drive, but there we go. We now have our home page, and if I look around, I'll find that system homepage folder. So now if I go back, if I open a new window, you can see going to naiad/mi, so my server/mi, I get this home page to direct me to where I want to go. So our design data user can see immediately the design data that he wants to use. You can see, I'm sorry that I said elastics, not elastomers. That's terrible. But you can find your polymer data, and you can find the composites data. Again, you can link straight into things like Explore and Remote Import as well from this homepage. So if we click on any one of these, and I'll cross my fingers, there we go, straight to that design data. So that is how I recommend getting people to the right data sets when they're first encountering your MI system.